Hello all. We'll just wait for another couple of minutes to allow everybody to join. We will start in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Good day all. Welcome here at the first ever Ask the Developer session here at InfoTopics at for Tableau. Today we're going to discuss SuperTables, and hopefully you have a couple of questions for us that we can answer, and we can help you out in your quest for the ultimate solutions in your Tableau platform. Let me just switch to the PowerPoint. So this is the agenda. The session will be about 30 minutes, probably 20 to 30 minutes. Of course, we have some time for questions. That's the meaning of this session. We will do a short welcome and a short introduction. We will love to hear your questions. We have also prepared some frequently asked questions that we encounter in our support a lot. And I will tell you something about our roadmap, a little sneak peek into the future. Your hosts of today are Sriharsh Amur, standing next to me.
Hi everyone, I'm Sri. I've been working here at Tableau for the past 3 years as a developer. I'm the product owner of SuperTables, and I'm really excited to hear your questions about SuperTables.
Thank you, Sri. My name is Siebe. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Apps for Tableau. I work here at Apps for Tableau since 2018. So I know my way around, and I'm responsible for the product development and the roadmaps of our products. And today, that will be focusing on SuperTables. Some resources where you can find information about extensions and Viz Extensions. That's basically what we do. Our solutions are mainly extensions and Viz Extensions. And in the Tableau Exchange, there's two categories for extensions, Viz Extensions and Dashboard Extensions. Both can do the same, only the approach to use them is a bit different. They have a different way of configuring, but in the end, the functionality is the same. You can get some free trials in the Tableau Exchange. You can also join our website or go to our website. There's a trial button on the top of the website. If you scan the QR code, you'll be pointed towards that trial page. You can request a free trial, and it's at least valid for 2 weeks, but you can easily extend your trials. We also have some tutorials on YouTube. So that's what we want to do, and we allow exports when data allows, and we offer maximum flexibility with this specific product. Some highlights of SuperTables. I always refer to SuperTables as your Swiss Army knife in Tableau, because when working with data, when working with information, with numbers, a lot of people always grab the Excel tool, which is of course a pretty good tool, but in corporate environments, well, you lose governance and security when you're using Excel, because your data needs to be exported to Excel, and you lose governance and security. But with Excel, you have a lot of freedom to slice and dice the information the way you want. And SuperTables does exactly that, but in the governed and secure environment of Tableau. It's the power to the end user, so you don't need to be a creator or an explorer to use SuperTables. Also, the Tableau viewers can use SuperTables and are very flexible in how to handle their data. I already mentioned that you can keep your data governed and secured with your Tableau layers in SuperTables. And then again, it allows exports when data allows. So if you have privacy sensitive data, you can restrict the exporting of your data. And when it's not that sensitive data, you can allow to export the data. And it offers maximum flexibility. So, first question I want to ask you is, what would you like to ask Sri? Sri is our developer of SuperTables. So if you have any questions for Sri, then please grab your moment and put them in the chat, and let us know what you would like to see or learn. Hello, Pallavi. This is Siebe here. So if there are no questions from the public, we will continue in showing you some frequently asked cases that we encounter in our support channels. Let me just share the screen again. So during SuperTables is not a new extension. It exists for a couple of years already, and it's used globally by a lot of companies on a large scale in every industry. It's the same. Is there a use case for SuperTables? No, there's no single use case for SuperTables. It's just like Excel. What's the use case for Excel? There are numerous use cases for Excel. So things we encounter a lot, people ask, is how when they use SuperTables, they get a demo and they see stuff on our YouTube channel or on our demo workbooks, and they wonder, how can I do those things myself? We have a lot of resources available, a product guide where we explain all the functionality that you can use with SuperTables. And here are some of the examples that we try to explain to our customers quite a lot, because they can offer a huge value to your platform. So first of all, with SuperTables, you can create personal views on your Tableau server or cloud. So your end users, your viewers, can slice and dice their data and make it their own personal or default view for that specific dashboard. So Sri is going to show you how to do that. It's also possible to create multiple layouts and allow your users to switch between those layouts. We're going to demonstrate that as well. Then we have the option of loading your data. If you're working with large data sets, you can load your data in a paginated way, which of course helps stability in your platform. Yes, you can do sorts on multiple columns. To answer that question, Sri can show you as well. And how can we restrict users from copying or exporting data? Because if your data is privacy sensitive, you don't want them to copy the data through SuperTables, or you don't want them to export the data through SuperTables. So those are the topics Sri is going to demonstrate. And I'm going to release the screen. Do we have Tableau open? Nope. Where's my Tableau? Sri, can you help me?
Is it the screen?
No.
What's the other one?
This one? Nope. Where is the browser?
Oh, it's over there, the first one.
Yeah. Check. So,
Right.
hand over the mouse to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Siebe. All right. I'm going to quickly pull up all the questions.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the most common questions we get is how can a end user, store their own custom view using SuperTables? Meaning they want to maybe remove a few columns, they want to remove the index column, maybe pin a certain column and have a different view altogether. And that's very easy to use. I'll start off with how you can configure such a thing. So I'll go into the edit mode. And here I have a very simple SuperTables coming from my datasheet. Currently, all my layout of my SuperTables is currently stored in the workbook settings. If I open the configuration, you can see that there's a new configuration screen, firstly, a new UI for configuration in the 4.2 version of SuperTables. And here you see that in the store table layout, I'm currently saving it in my workbook settings. However, I can also store my workbook settings or table layout in a parameter. And by doing that, then I can create my own custom views. So let's try that real quick. I'll just open up a new sheet, create a new parameter. Let's call it custom view. And this has to be a string type parameter. String. Let the value be empty for now. Right. I'll head back to my SuperTables, open up the configuration. And the configurator, dashboard configurator, has to ensure that the store table layout is not in the workbook settings anymore, which is the default for every SuperTables extension, but rather the one we just made, which is called custom view. If I apply and close, you would notice that the layout might have changed depending on whether you had different configurations. But now, if I publish my workbook and let me change a couple of things. So for example, let me remove my index column. Let me pin my order ID, for example. And for example, I want to save this view, save this workbook as a custom view. I can simply do that by clicking Save Custom View. Let's name this Shri's view. Save that. And that's how simple it is. I can now always make this my default view and always view this. And in case I want to view the original SuperTables made by the dashboard designer, I can simply just change the view as I have the original version as well. And I can create as many views as possible. So that's how you can change the default location of where the table is stored from the workbook segments to the parameters and have custom views. Another very common question we get is the dashboard designer wants to create multiple layouts in the same dashboard for the same extension of SuperTables, but they unfortunately don't know how to, so that's why I'm here. Let me show you how that can be done. So in the same dashboard, I can have multiple views stored in my SuperTables, and I can switch between them using a parameter switcher. Let me open up a new instance of SuperTables. So this one is, again, pretty much the default SuperTables with a bit of formatting here and there. And my goal is that I have the same extension, same SuperTables extension, but have different views. So maybe I want one view which just shows the normal row groups, one view which shows a pivot table maybe, and another one which shows groups, group by category, for example. How can I do that? The first step is to create two new parameters. So I'm going to quickly head back to an empty data sheet and create a parameter. Let's call this the SuperTables state parameter.
Type string.
Yes, forgot about that. SuperTables state. I'm going to quickly edit that to make it of type string. Clear the value. Save that. And then I will quickly create another parameter, and this would be the parameter which stores the different layouts that you want to save. So let's call this the SuperTables layout switcher. Okay, a couple of mistakes over there. Right, we'll roll with it. And this needs to be a string type parameter, and it will be allowable values will be a list because there could be multiple views. And for now, we'll just leave it empty. And we'll just save it and head back to our dashboard, which contains our super tables. Just to make it a bit more simpler, I'm also going to show you the parameters inside the dashboard because it becomes much easier to copy paste values. Just head over to the parameters, and we made one called super table state. That's this one. As you can see, it's just a string type parameter, which is currently empty. And also going to show you the other parameter, which is the parameter layout switcher. It's empty as well for now. Now, my goal is to have 3 different states in the same dashboard. How do I do that? Let's open up the configuration. The first step is the same as the one I answered in the previous question, which was you want to save the layout not in the workbook settings, which is by default, but change that to the new one we created, which is the super table state. Once you do that, all your layouts will be stored in this particular parameter. And you can enable the layout switcher by going into the appearance tab, scrolling a bit down, and you should see under the event listeners tab, you should see that you have a parameter to switch between layouts. That's already enabled, but you can enable that if it's not, and then search for the parameter that we just created, which is the super tables layout switcher. And that's all we need to do in the configuration screen. So we can go ahead and safely close. And now you would notice that you would notice that the super table state parameter contains some values, and mainly what it's talking about is the current state. So if in case I remove my index column, for example, then the string in the parameter would change to adapt to the latest state. And if I want to make this my default view, let's just say the first view I want to make is just a normal super tables view, I can quickly copy this value, which is inside my state parameter, and edit this list parameter and paste the values here. And let's give it a good name like the default view. Save that. Nice. So we already have one view, but I'm going to make one more. Let's just say let's group it by city. And I'm going to use this example for now. So this is my second view. Super tables automatically updates the parameter. So you can just copy the new parameter, click on the edit button again, and make this, let's call this the group view. And there you have it. So now this was the default view. I can simply open the layout switcher and move to my second view, which is the group view. And you should see that the views changed. And I can make as many views as I want because it's just parameters. It's native Tableau features. All I need to do is in the configuration, I need to make my table stored in a parameter and have the layout switcher enabled. And then I can easily use my layout switcher. Yeah, that was the second most requested question. So now you have a step-by-step solution on how to enable this. Moving on to the next question, which is also frequently asked, especially recently. When customers have a lot of rows, when they have a lot of data, sometimes Tableau crashes or the extension crashes because the way the data is being fetched is it's trying to fetch all the data at once instead of in a more paginated manner, which is usually more reliable. So since 2024.1, Tableau has introduced a new API in the Extensions API package, allowing you to fetch all the data in a paginated manner instead of in a all-at-once manner. And we've given a new option in the general page under the data fetching method. So by default, we still use the old method, which is the load all data at once. However, However, you can switch it to the new method, which is the paginated fetching method, which is usually recommended for larger data sets because it is more reliable and it's more updated by Tableau. So that's the only small fix you have to do. Just change the value and it should fetch in a more reliable manner, especially for larger data sets. And it's only available from 2024.1 Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server. And for Tableau Cloud, it's always available because you use the latest version of Tableau. Then there was another question, which was a pretty simple one in my view, but we get so many questions that maybe it's not. Which is, if you want to sort columns, how do you do that? Let me go back to my other view, which is the default view. So sorting columns, if you don't know yet, is you can just click on the header to sort them. However, if you want to sort multiple columns, so not just one, the key is that you need to press the shift button and then you can start sorting on multiple columns. So I can just keep going and sort on as many columns as I want. Let me change something so that you actually see it's sorting, and I can just keep on going. So you just have to press the shift button to sort multiple columns at once, which is very Excel-like in a way. Finally, the last question, which is about restrictions, about not allowing the end users to copy and export data if they're not allowed to, if the data is sensitive.
Can you first show how you can export your data with the right mouse?
Yeah, sure. So the way you export data is you can either right-click and say export to PDF or export to CSV or Excel. And you can also, exporting also means copying data. So you can also copy cells. In fact, you can select as many cells as you want, and you can just right-click and say copy cells. Now, obviously, if you don't want that to happen, if you don't want information to be exported or copied outside SuperTables, there is a feature in the configuration. It's under the restrictions tab. So this tab is not just restricted to the data, but also other kinds of restrictions. But right now we're focusing on export restrictions. So user cannot export the data outside SuperTable. So we have a bunch of options here. So you can allow the end user to either copy data or not. So if it's not checked, that means the user is not allowed to export data. For now, I'm just going to, for the sake of the example, I will disable all of them.
Yeah, sorry.
And let's see. Yeah, now you should not be able to export data.
Yeah, it's on the viewer. Because you're in desktop now.
Exactly.
And edit mode now, and the viewer will not.
True. Yeah. So the end user will not be able to export it. Yeah.
I hear there's a question, Sri.
Really?
So let's try and find the question over here. What is the question? What is making the map filter based on what you are selecting in the SuperTables? Yeah, that's a good question. Within SuperTables, you can define the actions. We are currently using the dashboard extension, and in the dashboard extension, you can create an action and choose which column will trigger the filter action on your target sheet, in this case, the map. And in my example, or Sri's example, when you click on one of the records, it fetches the value from the state column. So in this case, Pennsylvania, and it will highlight Pennsylvania. But it would also be possible to filter on the region or the country or whatever you would like to do, or even on a different dimension like a product category. That's also possible to filter on the map. So you're free to choose on what dimensions you want to act your filter. Did that answer your question, Pallavi?
There was also another one about parameter usage, but I hope the two use cases I've discussed also solves that.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, the action can be set here in the configure screen under actions. So we have two actions One, with a target sheet, the profit ratio per state. So that's my map. And the other one, which is triggered by the state column. And the other one is a filter. When you select a record, that will be filtered on the sales per product category, which is shown on the right, the stacked bar chart. Oh, sorry, I clicked too much. And it's triggered by the category. So and you can define as many actions as you want in the extension. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint. So we were at this one. So those were really handsome and useful tools, Sri. And we get a lot of questions about it, and it really helps our customers to gain a lot of adaptation, even for Excel users, stuck Excel users, to get into to work into Tableau. So a short note on the roadmap. You already saw the new interface of SuperTables that Sri demonstrated. That is our next version, SuperTables 4.2. We expect to release it in September, early September. And there's a lot of features in there. So we can export images into the Excel files when you're on an enterprise subscription. We can switch data sheets also based on a parameter, so you can work with different data sets in just one instance of SuperTables. We have selective aggregation, so if you have a financial statement and you want certain ledgers to be added up in a subtotal, you can discriminate other ledgers to not be aggregated. The bar charts in cells, which is a lot used liked option in SuperTables, they now auto scale, so they determine the minimum and the maximum values for that specific column, and they automatically scale between those values. You already saw the UI changes in the configuration screen. It's much more user friendly. When you add new columns to your data sheet, they tend to show up every time you add a new column. So you now have the option to auto hide new columns, but of course also make them visible when you add new columns by default. And the values of the formulas that you can create even in the front end by the end user, just like in Tableau, create a new formula. They can also be formatted in, for instance, number fields, currency fields, the decimal numbers and stuff like that. So there's a lot of features in the new version, SuperTables 4.2. Will be released on a very short notice. So check your mailbox, you'll be notified for the updates. And besides that, we are also integrating our SuperTables extension with another very popular extension. It's the Rybak Extreme extension. And with the Rybak Extreme extension, the name does reveal a little bit, but you can write back your data to databases. And with the integration, we can use SuperTables as the input screen for your data additions, your comments, your things that you want to change and want to add and want to store in your database. So a full integration between SuperTables and Rybak Extreme really helps in certain tabular data use cases to really manage in a successful and safe and secure way how your data can be captured and stored in a database. I have a small demo of that. Let me quickly show it. So here you can see SuperTables. This one is connected to Rybak Extreme. And here you can see a name, John Doe, for instance. I can change the name in Jane Doe. Press Enter, and you can see a reload button automatically. And when I press the reload button, John Doe's name will be changed into Jane Doe. That's not all you can do. You can change names, of course, but you can also change your budgets and immediately use that data inside your dashboard. So, for instance, if I change my budget over here to 700,000 and hit the Enter button, and reload, then basically my actuals are above my budget, which should trigger some alarm bells. And once the data is stored in the database, it can be reused immediately inside the dashboard and change, for instance, the color here. And you saw the bar charts move as well. So capturing your user input through SuperTables, use Rybak Extreme to store it, and immediately reuse it in your dashboards. There's millions of use cases that can be solved. We are also working on adding comments to specific cells in your SuperTables, so not just writing data with the records that already exist, but also adding comments just like in Excel, make annotations, let people also view your annotations, read your annotations, respond on your annotations. So a lot of flexibility will be added thanks to that integration of SuperTables and Rybak Extreme. Next, I quickly wanted to point out the existence of Viz Extensions. Since Tableau 2024.2, there's the new type of extensions called Viz Extensions. They can be used from in a sheet, not in a dashboard, but in a sheet. Basically, the end product for the viewer behaves the same. You have the same functionality, only you configure them more natively in a Tableau on a sheet level, and you can make use of the standard Tableau filter activities and the Tableau functionality for dashboard actions, for instance. Have a look at the Tableau Exchange. Have a look at our website. Request a free trial. You can check all our products. SuperTables is one of the most popular ones. So if you don't have your latest version of SuperTables and you want to check it out, subscribe for a trial and enjoy all the features that we just showed you. In the meantime, did somebody pop up any other questions? Let me just close this one again. Okay, no further questions. Then the only thing I have to say is thank you for being here, and hopefully see you in the next Ask the Developer session here on YouTube. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. I guess we can stream.